Welcome into another episode of The Mic is Open. I'm Alan Hoshida, your host. Thanks again for coming along and enjoying this conversation. It should be a good one. On this episode, we bring you Sam Spangler, another Hawaii boy, de facto Hawaii boy, adopted son Hawaii boy, Sam Spangler, one of my good friends from my days over at KHON. He was a sports guy before I was. Then he went to the newsy side, went to hard news, the stuff that matters. Sports doesn't matter. Sports is fun. No, it all matters, and it's all great, and it's all prevalent information that people love to take in, whether that's sports, whether that's hard stuff, whether that's more of the magazine style. I think it's all important. And Sam's kind of done it all. So we're going to have a good conversation about Hawaii. He was also a Rainbow Warriors University of Hawaii baseball player, drafted twice. So we'll talk about his minor league days and everything that led up to what he is now, which is a morning news anchor, but also a dad of two. And so, of course, we're going to touch on all those things, and we're going to have a good time doing it. So let's open up the mic. Sam Spangler, my good friend and my buddy from across the aisles. We're going over into the Pacific again. We started with Rob DeMello, this whole thing. And so I had to bring in my other brother from KHON too, who is now the morning news anchor, was an evening anchor, was also a sports guy. But as I start every podcast, Sam, the mic is open. And I know you're a guy who has plenty of things that he thinks about and ponders about life. So is there anything you need to get off your chest today?
Yeah. So it's actually San Francisco sports related.
Okay, good.
And this has been bothering me. Can Will Clark just chill out for a second? Okay. One of my all-time favorite Giants. Okay. He's like got the Rafi Devers thing going. He's got this like podcast, all the power to him. Will Clark, just let's not like interfere with the team. Okay. We got a good thing going. Finally, Giants are finally winning some games in a row. Will Clark, I love you. Let's relax a little bit.
I will say I did go back and actually watch the clip for like one of the few times that actually went back. It wasn't as bad as the headlines. Like the headlines were like, oh, Will Clark says Rafael Devers stood him up. And then he even was like, oh, well, I knew he didn't want to do it in front of the Red Sox. I wasn't really that mad, but next time I'm coming to grab you, which is basically what he said. But the headlines, as you know, we got to click. We need clicks. We need digital clicks, so they're going to make them extra spicy.
Totally, yeah. The text reads much worse than the podcast. You're absolutely right. But then like he said, like, hey, I'm gonna, and you know how Will Clark talks.
Yeah,
and I love him, but like, I'm gonna bring your butt out there and blah blah. Like, let's just chill out with the whole like first base thing. I just don't want to make Rafi Devers mad. Okay, I just want him to be happy and hit homers. That's all I want.
Yeah, well, so we were having a Father's Day function that day. And, you know, I'm a baseball fan. I'm not deep in the weeds as you are, as we'll get to reasons why you are deep in the weeds of baseball. But, like, I was like, oh, Rafael Devers, I know the name. I know he's a pretty good hitter. I wasn't as excited about it as I think I should have been. Clayton Kershaw was like, oh, yeah, I think he's a top 10 hitter in baseball. And I was like, what? This guy? And then he comes and I'm like, oh, yeah, it makes sense. He also swings as hard as possible every single time. Like, it is like, oh, I'm going to just hit 110 exit velo every single time. And when he hits the ball, it is very hard.
Yeah, there's one club in the bag. And I love that. Like, I've loved him for a long time. But yeah, he's plays for the Red Sox, right? So if you're just like a casual Giants fan, like, how many Red Sox games do you see a year? Not a ton. But he punishes the baseball. And especially when he gets hot, like he's had these streaks against the Yankees where he just absolutely annihilates them. And so I think that's all you need to know as a Giants fan. Like, just listen to how happy Yankees fans are that he's not on the Red Sox anymore. And I just love like that left-handed stroke and stuff. And it's probably like a little bit of Bonds nostalgia, like wanting to see a powerful left-handed hitter at Oracle again. But yeah, it's just so awesome having like a star bat in the middle of the order. That is like must-see TV, right? Like not only because he makes the team better, but like I'm with my son and I'm watching. I'm like, hey, Rafi Devers is hitting. Like, check this out. Like something cool is probably going to happen.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and I was like that with Jung-Hoo Lee. I was like all on him. I'm still on him. I think he's going to come back he's find his contact point. But he was also kind of that Matt Chapman kind of has that feel, but Devers at a different level, especially given the left-handed swing. It could go in the bay every single time, and that's pretty awesome. He'll get settled in here, I believe, and he'll start finding things a little better. I think he has some back tightness, some report. This is very heavy sports really early on, and I really wasn't anticipating this, but it's a podcast. We're letting it fly. But
Yeah.
let's go to what your job is now, and how you got there, and kind of your journey. And I think it's kind of pretty cool. You go college baseball, come to Hawaii, and then Rob DeMello, as he does, takes people under their wings, and you become the number 2 over there in the sports department. That I was lucky enough to be in that sports department as well. Then you go evening news because sports isn't as I don't know, it's not great for your life balance.
Yeah,
And then
not very
now,
family friendly. That's
no,
for
not
sure.
family friendly. You did take a little hiatus there, came back, and then you now the morning, which if you're a morning person, I think for I maybe obviously I'm speaking for you, and I could just have like that. That's got to be a way better lifestyle as far as balance with your kids and at the ages there are right now.
Yeah, so I got 2 kids. So I got a 3-year-old and an 8-year-old. And yeah, it was when I made the move over, it was, a chance to just spend nights with them, right? Instead
Hmm.
of like spending nights eating dinner at my desk and like the family's like away and the kids gotta be away from dad. Sometimes I wouldn't see him for like 3 days at a time. So yeah, trading that for, I wake up at 2 a.m., but I'm off at
Yeah.
11. I take a nap. Like, can you see the bags under my eyes?
No, no, no. You look great.
He's
Look great.
strong these days. No, but yeah, I love the schedule, and I think that's just like part of like getting older and being a dad, right? It's
Yeah.
like you just make sacrifices in other areas. Like I don't go out anymore. Like the craziest thing I do is like play golf with the boys. You know how you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
how it
that's right.
works.
Yeah.
So I love the schedule, and then it's really like a chance to also just be totally immersed in work in like the news overall as a whole and be real well balanced with that because as a reporter and anchor, I'd be focused on the story I was doing that day. It was like 100% of my focus and like the stories, ideas I would be cultivating throughout the weeks and months, etc. So to be, to have a hand in like everything that goes on the air, I just think is a really fun thing to do. It's something I'm interested in.
Yeah, and then now that you're in the morning too, it's the work-life balance in a sense. I just thinking of like when you're at work, you're at work at like 2 o'clock, so you don't really have to worry about like family things. Hopefully no one's waking up in your household at like
Yeah,
2 o'clock.
you
I
know,
mean,
you know how it goes with the kids
yeah,
sometimes.
early risers, but
Yeah.
hopefully it's also you're not splitting that time where you're getting as many, texts too through texts throughout the day where it's like, oh, hey, this is happening with so and so, or what do you need about this, or what should we have for dinner? You're just like, hey, I'm gonna go into the office, and then when I get off, and you can kind of like split it really equally. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another big part of it too. And then like from the sports side in the local news industry, there's usually 2, maybe maximum 3 guys in those sports departments. So you're almost on at all times. Like you're kind of like on call at all
Mm-hmm.
times, right? You
Yeah.
got to be you got to be in it at all times. And there's a lot of times where I can unplug, which is
Yeah.
nice because we got a whole news team to cover everything, right? So yeah, I'll respond to emails in a timely fashion, et cetera, et cetera. But when I go home and be with the kids, I can go home and be with the kids. That's a big part of it, right? Because it's hard in the digital age to be engaged and on at all times. It's exhausting and it takes you away from your family. So yeah, the work-life balance I feel like it is good in an industry that isn't always good for that.
Sorry, just got a text speaking right now. I'm like doing a text, and she knows that my wife knows I'm doing a podcast. She's like, "Oh, do you need this?" We're finishing up a patio and back. Oh my gosh, dude, DIY projects are the worst. But
We're DIYing a bathroom. We've been doing it for like 2.5 years. You were probably still here when we started.
oh well,
A
hey,
long
there
time
you
ago.
go.
Yeah.
I'm texting her back. I don't know the brand yet.
Yeah.
It's in
YouTube
back.
is great and horrible for this because like it gives you the guys that you can learn how to do all these things at home when
Yeah.
really you should just hire a
Well, it's
professional.
also great if you have like a 75-year-old father who's done it 10 times already. So I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
dad. He came over and helped me out. Okay, back on topic to what we were talking about. So I want to ask you, as you've gone from news to the morning anchor, you get to probably use a little bit more of your personality, right? That's kind of helps. But going from sports, what was that transition for you from going from sports into the news side of it? It wasn't like you chose this profession, like this is what you were gonna do. I think you were interested, obviously, after your playing career came to an end, but it was really Rob just bugging the crap out of you until you sunk into it, and now you carved out this whole career for yourself.
Yeah, so a little bit of my origin story. So I played college baseball at the University of Hawaii. Got drafted by the Twins. Played a couple years in the Twins minor league organization. got released and was trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do next with my life? So I was a kinesiology major, was going to go to physical therapy school, was studying for that. There was none in Hawaii, so I was kind of bummed. Like, my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, and I were, thinking, oh, we wish we could stay here, but planning for leaving. So during that time, I was doing Spectrum Sports was just starting as the broadcast partner for University of Hawaii games, and they were doing baseball games, and they were doing pregame, postgame show, and so they asked me to do that. I was like, oh, wonderful! I didn't even think I was going to get paid, and I was like, oh, perfect. I would love to do this, just talk about baseball. Great. And so I started doing that, and I realized I was getting paid. I was like, wow, this is great. So I, did a bunch of homework to do that, did the best job I could. And then, yeah, Rob reached out one day and was like, hey, I got this show that I'm doing, a sports talk show, the local PBS affiliate. We're supposed to have BJ Penn on as our guest, the UFC, the former UFC champion.
Super chill
But he
guy
didn't show
too.
up.
Not super chill.
Yeah,
Never. He
especially
doesn't
these.
make any. He doesn't make any headlines. None.
No, yeah. I never talk about him on the news. Never.
No.
Yeah.
No. No.
So BJ was supposed to show up. Yeah, surprisingly didn't show up. And Rob calls me. He's like, hey, can you come fill in on the show and talk about the University of Hawaii baseball team? I think they were in the conference tournament at the time. Came on and ditched class. It was a communications class. So I was like, yeah, this is communications, right? Yeah. So I ditched
Yeah,
class.
exactly.
Went to do the show. And afterwards, Rob just kept asking me, like, hey, you interested in doing like local news? No way. I've never done. No, I didn't go to school for this. No chance.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he like kind of wore me down because there was a position opening up. So I started interning, and then that became that. So it's a very chance opportunity for me to end up in this business that I never in a million years would have dreamed I'd end up in. And then, yeah, it leads to doing news, which is just, yeah. Actually, you know what? Kind of the family business, because my grandpa, so my Bay Area ties, my grandpa was the editor for the Redwood City Tribune, and my grandma was a reporter there. So my lineage is all from Redwood City. My grandpa was born in Oakland back in, I think, 1904. So this is my
Year of
family.
the earthquake?
I don't. Yeah, was that the year
I
that
think
giant
1904 is the year earthquake year, I
Okay.
believe.
So yeah, I'm not sure if he was born before or after the earthquake, but I think like my family on that side of the family dates back to like gold rush times in the Bay
Yeah.
Area. So
So
yeah,
really, it was just your destiny, and it was like one of those movies that you just had to uncover your destiny, and then you found your calling as a true
apparently,
journalist.
yeah, is yeah, very very like I do look back on like the family stuff though, that I was like the journalistic like stuff was ingrained in me. So I didn't go to journalism school, but I knew all about it because just like I would talk to my grandma all the time about it. And she was a reporter, and she just like, she was always watching C-SPAN and stuff when I was a kid. So I'd lay in the living room with her in Redwood City. She turned on C-SPAN. I'd watch C-SPAN with her. So yeah.
How lucky do you feel like you are that it was in Hawaii, that your local news spot was in Hawaii? I mean, I've told you my not I mean, horror stories might be a little tough to say, but my stories of moving around the West Coast into these different towns and what that's all about. And like, you got your break in Hawaii. That's where you've been your whole career, and it's just a special place.
Yeah, it's my favorite place on earth. Uh, I guess the closest second would be the Bay Area, and that would be like 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm very fortunate, especially, a place that I don't want to leave, because this business is like, okay, you work your way up and you go to different markets. And I guess I got the minor league experience in baseball, so I didn't have to do it in the news business. Because you
Yeah.
definitely went through the minor leagues, Alan, to get to where you're at right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
in the big leagues in the
Yeah.
Bay Area. So yeah, it's a place that I don't ever want to leave. This is home for us now. We laid down roots. And so yeah, I absolutely love it here. And it's a place that I'm continuously learning about, right? I'm learning about Hawaii and its people and its history, and it's something that fascinates me. So
Have you ever got approached about going somewhere else? I don't think I've ever asked you this.
no, I've never sought it out, but I've also
Yeah.
never been approached. So I don't know if I was a free agent. I don't know if I would attract any kind of market, but I've also never looked for it. So
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Hawaii. And it's like once you're there, it's really hard to move on because you're leaving a lifestyle that becomes pretty special, and just the food, going down the beach, and then a lot of times you meet someone or you start meeting friends and family. For you, you met your girlfriend there and now your wife. it's just hard to leave once you're there. Like, I don't know what it is about it. It just kind of sucks you into a vortex. And I miss it every day. We were just back for a trip, but I tell Martina that I miss it every day. It's hard to go back. We came back because we didn't have the family we needed here to support our children and stuff. But man, it was a tough decision. It was tough. Like, I don't know what it is. What do you think it is that like you just get sucked in and you just never want to leave? Like, it's hard to just get up and go.
Yeah, it's a great place. Obviously, like the natural beauty is just second to none, right? That's a wonderful thing. You get the sunshine all the time. But I think it's just the people, right? Like the
Yeah.
people, there's just a different feeling in Hawaii. And like the aloha thing is so cliche, but it's very true in that, you talk to people and you just talk to people you might not even know, and people are just friendly and they're
Yeah.
they're always cracking jokes and like wanting to have a good time. And like that's infectious, right? And it kind of just like bleeds into everything you do. And that's like I love local people. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
love talking to them. Like I love, especially like older local people is like my
Yeah.
favorite population. Like like we call elderly here in Hawaii kupuna. Like I feel like I'm a kupuna at heart. And so like, I'm just like talking to like 60-year-old uncles who cut their grass with scissors in Manoa.
Dude,
That's my people, right?
I
So like
actually saw someone down in West Portal cutting with scissors. Oh man, that is some dedication, man. But his
yeah,
lawn looked fantastic, I will
yeah,
say. So it
it's the
was,
real deal. It really works. Yeah, the buzz cut. So yeah, I think that just attitude that people have here is something that's very hard to replicate
yeah.
elsewhere.
Well, you came over for to play ball, right? You're coming on a scholarship. You're coming because it was an opportunity to play baseball. When did it switch? When did you realize that, hey man, this is a place that I don't see myself leaving? And you're a special person, but you're not that special. Like, student athletes come to Hawaii and then it seems like they never leave. Like, that also seems like something that happens. But was there a specific moment that you recall where you're like, this is now going to be home?
Yeah. When I was playing, I always, when I got there, I loved it. When I came on my first visit, I loved it. And I didn't want to leave, but baseball was the thing, right? It was like this singular focus. Like I'm just trying to do the baseball thing. And then when that was gone, I came back and it was like, oh, this makes more sense. Like this is where I want to be right now. You know what I mean? So being just a person in society without like that just like drive for one thing, it
Hmm.
kind of opened my eyes to everything that Hawaii had to offer, right? And I got to experience things that I didn't get to experience as a student athlete because my schedule was so booked all the time. And so
Yeah.
I think that first fall, um, my first because my first off season I actually spent in San Francisco. I was living in the Sunset, 28th and Judah, which was a
That's right.
blast. I loved it so much. But that first fall off season being just a normal person in Hawaii, I think that's when I like decided this is where I want to be long term.
We lived very close. It was 2010, right? That was the year you were there.
Yeah,
Yeah, we live. I was very close in that time. We were
yeah.
on 20. I was on 25th and Rivera. So yeah, we
Oh,
were we were right down. We've looked at the map before. We ran in, might have run into each other at some points. Probably not, but
kidding.
it was
Yeah,
very
out at
different
the bar
places.
celebrating Giants 2010 World
I
Series,
I
maybe.
think I was logging sound.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I was logging sound. I mean, unfortunately, fortunately, I've been very blessed to have covered or been a part of three different World Series, and the first Warriors parade was my last day at Comcast back then. The first time around, like
Yep.
before I even stepped out of San Francisco, I knew I was like, I don't think I'm going to cover very any more big moments than this. Now, the one thing that's on that list, obviously, as you can probably allude to, is if the Sharks ever lift Lord Stanley's Cup, I might weep in
Yeah.
just sheer joy and happiness. But pretty much everything else I saw, I mean, I didn't get to see a 49ers Super Bowl win, but they were in the Super Bowl twice. And then since we've come back, they've been in the Super Bowl. Like, yeah, it's that time was pretty special in the 2010 through 2014, 16. It just you can't go back to it. You want to go back, but you can't go
Yeah.
back.
We came to San Francisco. I got done with my season September 2010. And so came back. We went to a Giants Dodgers game. Giants won. I remember Brian Wilson getting the save. And then I had to go to fall instructional league. And I came back in October and in the middle of the NLCS against the Phillies, and my sister took me to go see, I think it was game five, I want to say, and it was Lincecum versus Halladay. Great pitching match. Giants lost that game, but
Mhm. It wasn't Halliday was lights out, right?
yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Lincecum was good, but I think Halladay was lights out that game. And then her husband now is her boyfriend at the time, I think. So he's from Philly. He's a huge Phillies fan. And so like we'd go to bars and watch all the games, and it was awesome. Like when they
Yeah.
beat the Phillies, that was like one of the happiest sports moments of my life. And then I was at, I forgot which bar it was. I was at a Russian bar in the Sunset, and when they won the title against the Rangers, and I got to go to the parade. I
Yeah.
was a player myself, so I was like out of work
Yeah.
basically. I went
Did
to the
you
parade.
wear your hat to it, or did you wear San Francisco hat?
Oh,
Were you
Giant stuff. Come on, man. Yeah. Hey, nobody knows who I am. I can totally wear Giant stuff and be anonymous, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Was
I didn't
it
have
that
to wear, I didn't have to
was
wear
that
any
a
gear.
was that a weird moment though, where you're like, oh, putting on a Giants hat right now? I'm not actually. I'm employed by another organization at the moment, or you don't even think about it. Do you guys not even think
No,
about it?
I was born into this. It runs so
Yeah.
deep. Okay, here's an example. Here's an example. So I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico. My dad would take me to Albuquerque Dukes games. They're the AAA affiliate of the Dodgers at the time, right? They had like Mike Piazza, Pedro Martinez, all these incredible players. He would make me root against them because they're the Dodgers. This is my hometown team, right? I would have to root for the Phoenix Firebirds because they were the AAA affiliate of the Giants. So that's an example of like how deep I was born into this. Okay,
W-
there's no options for me.
Phoenix Fire, were they the you said they were affiliate for the Giants at that time?
Yeah, for the Giants,
No.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
So
there you go.
I was a Firebirds fan.
You had to be locked in there to
Locked in.
Phoenix Firebirds. But so you said Albuquerque, and another thing I wanted to ask you, because I think anybody who travels to Hawaii, they know what it's like to try and assimilate, to try and get to know the culture. And you've done it better than almost anybody I know. It's not that I like have a vast Rolodex, but you've are adopted son, and I don't think anyone blinks an eye when they talk to you, when they speak to you, when you've been accepted. What is the key to being accepted from as an outsider into Hawaii, into its people, into its culture, and just understanding that it's got to be feel pretty good too that you accomplished that, because it's hard to do, and if you don't do it, it doesn't go well for you.
Yeah, I think it's just treating people with respect, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it. You treat people with respect, and then you're willing to learn, right? You got to be curious and willing to learn. And so you learn from people, you learn from especially people who are older, right? Our kupuna here in Hawaii. And then also I took a class my freshman year as a required credit at the University of Hawaii, was a Hawaiian studies class,
Yeah.
which was just really illuminating. And so you get to learn a lot right away as soon as you step on campus. And I think that's a wonderful class. I love that they have that course. And so that kind of like piques the curiosity, right? You only get a semester of it. And then like there's just so many opportunities to learn. There's so much history here. There's so many things. There's so many people you can talk to. And so I'm still in the learning process, right? It's not like I'm
Yeah,
some
of
sort of
course.
like expert on all things Hawaii at all times. But yeah, it was something that just piqued my interest right away, and I wanted to do it ever since.
Well, you have to be open to whatever Hawaii gives to you, and you have to be willing to learn, and you have to be willing to listen. Like I think that's the hardest part, or it's actually the easiest part, but it's the hardest part for us because we all love to speak. Most humans, I would say, or most of society, but you got to listen. Like if you just listen to people who've been there a lot longer than you, or actual Hawaiians, not locals, but actual Hawaiians, and then also the locals, that's when you, I think, get the respect from others, because you can't just come in there thinking you know anything, and you just have to listen.
Yeah, and I think you could apply that to really like any place you travel, especially if you travel internationally. Like,
Yeah.
how beneficial is it to learn about the history of a place and learn how a place operates, learn their culture before you go there, so you can get a real sense for like what's happening there, and you get to be a part of it, right? And I think that moving to Hawaii, that's on a grander scale. But you learn about like these people were they sailed across the Pacific Ocean using the stars and found this isolated set of islands that had very limited resources, obviously great weather, etc. and figured out a way to create a population there that eventually ended up with having light in Iolani Palace with the Queen before the White House. Like this is just an absolutely incredible group of people who accomplished amazing things throughout their history. Why would you not want to learn from that,
Yeah.
right? Why would you not want to learn about the history of I think one of like mankind's like greatest accomplishments is the fact that they sailed across there using the stars and made it happen and survived. It's just an amazing like and they obviously with Hokule, right? You still get to see like they're doing it right now. There's this voyage called Moana Nui Akea. They're voyaging across the Pacific to different islands. And so we get to see and like live a little bit about the history today.
Yeah, and I think you just have to do that. Like you said, with traveling internationally, I've want if we do it. I have now we have two kids, and I don't know when I'm traveling internationally
Huh.
yet. But I think it's so important to now learn a little bit about where you're going, and not just go as like, oh, I'm going for vacation. I got to turn my brain off, which is, as you know, as being a parent, when you go on vacation, it's just parenting in a different place. It's not
Yeah,
vacation.
sure is.
It's
Nope.
it's not vacation. You are just in a different place doing
Yeah,
your same thing.
yeah. Let's parent at Disneyland. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Sounds good. Let's go down Splash Mountain and then let's figure it out. And when I
Yeah.
sit in line for 2 hours, you're going to be awesome, I'm sure. For those 2 hours we wait in line, nothing ever is going to go wrong.
Yeah, and then I'll never like disparage somebody who just wants to like, and if you want to come to Waikiki and you just want to unplug and like you want to like eat some food and chill, that's fine. Okay, like you do your thing, but like it's good to be like respectful of people also,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Yeah, if you're going to go do that, then just do it the right way and if someone says something to you about like, "Oh, hey, I already had my pitched up tent here," or if you try and go surf, make sure you know the lineup and how to do things. Just
yeah,
don't do things the wrong way. If you're just gonna go chill, just be chill and
yeah,
don't pester people. It's pretty simple.
just don't be one dummy, eh?
Yeah, one dumb. We already talked about the giant Sam and we love it. I also know that every once in a while I can get a good angry Sam text about said Giants or the 49ers. But when we go back, what's your earliest memory of being a Giants fan?
So the earliest thing I remember is like a highlight of the Kevin Mitchell one-handed catch.
Yeah,
When he like overruns a ball and has to reach back and catch it with his bare hand. So
yeah.
I was born in 87, so I don't even remember what year that was, but that's one of like the earliest memories I have as far as like watching the Giants. My earliest I remember going to Candlestick and watching a Giants Astros game real early. This is probably like 93, so I was what, like maybe 6.
Five, yeah, four,
Um,
6. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and then going to I saw one of my fondest memories was I think it was 96 Giants Reds day game at Candlestick. Reds walked in Bonds 4 times, I think all intentionally, I want to say. He came up with the bases loaded in the eighth, and they couldn't walk him again. And they it's like first pitch fastball at his eyes, and he hit it out into the second deck for a grand slam. That was
There you
like,
go.
man, yeah, as a kid, like Bonds was my favorite player. That was the coolest thing ever.
And that's why he got walked with bases loaded once upon a time.
Exactly. Buck Showalter walked him. Yeah, a
It's
couple
like,
years later.
let's not hit a grand slam.
Yeah,
We're gonna walk you.
yeah.
Um, how are you feeling about this year's Giants? I mean, 2021, I know you love that team because it was just kind of out of nowhere. It was one of your favorite teams, if I remember correctly. This is a
Yep.
different kind. Old Buster Posey's back in charge of your San Francisco Giants.
I love it, and I think they're going for it, which I think is as a fan, that's kind of all you can hope for, right? Like
Mhm.
you can Monday morning quarterback all the trades that happen, all the free agent signings, etc. But you just have to hope that, especially in baseball, where you have like kind of a soft salary cap with the luxury tax stuff, that your team goes for it. And Buster Posey and the ownership group, you got to give your hat like they've gone for it. Whether it be the Adamas signing the offseason, the trade for Devers, locking up Matt Chapman to the long-term contract. I love that they're trying to win, even though the Dodgers have created this monster of a roster right now.
But they're
And I'm having
only
a lot of fun.
they're
Yeah,
only
they're
like
5 games
5 games
back
back, right? Yeah.
as we talk today, right? I
Yeah.
mean, the series starts tonight, so who knows what's going to happen over the weekend? Yeah, it could be 2 at the end of the weekend, could be 8 again. So we'll see what happens. They went through that tough slump. Every team goes through a struggle. But I just really enjoy watching this team. I love Willie Adames, even though he struggled during the early part of the season. He's starting to come around, but I just love how good of a teammate he's
Yeah.
remained. Like you
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
him in the dugout, even when he could not hit. And it's so easy in those situations to get down on yourself. I know I did when I was a player. And to see him just on the top step, just like smiled, just high-fiving all the guys. Like I don't care if you got 150 million guaranteed in the bank account. Like that's hard to do. And that's
Yeah.
just like I love that toughness. And I love Matt Chapman. Like I love Jung Hoo Lee. I know he's going through it right now. You know, you gotta adjust back to the league's adjustment to you. But it's a fun team, man. It's a fun team to watch. And then to see like Devers in the middle of the order, like it's great.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how they do. I probably should go to one of these games for you. I just can't bring myself to go pay Dodgers price tickets or Giants Dodge. I should say
Yeah,
Giants
those are
Dodgers price tickets because I can go middle of the week if I really wanted to and get them for like 25 bucks or something like that because it's like last minute.
You know what else I love? Logan Webb's walkout, man. Can we give Logan Webb some props? He got the Andre Nickatina kill a whale walkout. That is
Yeah.
the best walkout in Major League Baseball. I know a lot of people outside the Bay Area might not know about that, but that's chef's kiss right there.
Yeah, he's for someone who doesn't throw 95 miles an hour, he is as dominant as you can be for a guy who's sub 95.
Yeah.
Like it
And
has to be.
I always see people talk about like, oh, Greg Maddux, and I love Greg Maddux, one of the best pitchers of all time. Like, oh, pitchers today should pitch like Greg Maddux. Dude, watch Logan Webb. Watch
Yeah.
him pitch. He's Greg Maddux like plus 3 or 4 miles an hour maybe, and he's
Yeah.
got the changeup, the arm side run, now the cutter, the slider on top of that, like pinpoint command for nearly everything. It's and then he's a workhorse on top of that, right? He's gonna give you seven basically every night.
I want to play this game. I do it a pretty often on this. We do blind rankings. It's all the rage on social media. So I'm not coming up with anything new. I'm just regurgitating stuff. Let's do best Giants of the World Series era. And you know how this game works, or do I need to explain?
I know.
Okay. All right. So we're going to do five. We're going to do five. Let's start with old Timmy Lincecum.
Timmy for me is number one.
Okay.
I know,
Wow. Wow. Going right to the top.
I know. Timmy for me is number one because he was the catalyst, right? So you look at the Cy Young seasons 08, 09, and then like that 2010 playoff run, he was just so dominant. And that was, this is a team that really couldn't hit until like Edgar Renteria and Cody Ross became like Aaron Judge in the postseason.
Mhm.
And like Timmy, that game against the Braves where he struck out 14 or whatever, one complete game, and he just totally dominated. And I think that like changed the franchise and how they viewed themselves. And so I
Mhm.
think, and the way he captured the city, like being in San Francisco at the time, like he was just the man. And like you had all these incredible players on the team, of course. We'll get to them in a second, but like Timmy was just the guy, and he was San Francisco at the time. Like he like personified what everybody wanted out of a superstar in San Francisco. And so for me, like no matter how like steep the fall off was for him, like he's number one for me.
He was just spotted on the streets of San Francisco a couple weeks ago too.
Oh yeah,
He's like
good.
came out of hibernation, so I don't know if that's because his old buddies back there running things, and so I don't know why not. Let's go with Buster Posey next on this list.
So Buster gonna be number two. I got to see him actually. He played in the Hawaii Winter League in
Hmm.
2007, 2008. So this is right after he got drafted out of Florida State. And he threw my now wife, not even girlfriend at the time, a ball when he was playing for the Waikiki
Just
Beach.
some girl, some chick.
So yeah, pretty girl in the stands. Hey, I'm not mad at you, Buster Posey. I'm glad that you didn't pursue that further, like write your phone number on that thing. But yeah, he threw her a ball. She didn't keep it.
What?
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I mean, Buster is like one of the greatest catchers of all time and like one of the greatest clubhouse leaders of all time and did it at such a young age. Like we're similar ages. And I remember thinking back then, like, again, I'm going to Giants games as a fan and like we're playing is supposed to be like similar levels, right? And like he's just so much more advanced as a human being. And you see that now, right? As
Yeah.
president of baseball operations, he's just so dialed in and competitive. Man, what a special player he was.
All right, so I'm going to go off the board, and I'm going to go to one of the core four. Jeremy Affeldt.
Ooh, Jeremy Affeldt. So
You,
solid.
a lefty too, like yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, lefty. And not like just so there's a thing back then, Loogie, right? Lefty only one out guy. That's what I
Hmm.
was hoping I could become and become a major leaguer. Didn't work out that way. But I felt like tough on righties too, and just like so solid. Every time, like you knew what you're gonna get out of Jeremy Affeldt, right? And there's a little bit of like what I'm scared of with the Giants bullpen these days is like sometimes like they're a great bullpen. You don't know who you're gonna get. Like you always knew who Jeremy Affeldt was gonna be. But like where do I rank him? I don't know. Like I think I rank him probably number one overall in the core four because he was just like that stalwart that was
That's
like
not how that works.
I
One
know.
through five, one through five.
Well, like
And
it's
there's still two more names to go.
yeah, he's gonna go just because he's a bullpen guy. Not like
Dang.
bullpen. Like he's going five.
The shade.
Yeah, not
No
Shane. No, I
love for
love Jeremy Affeldt,
lefty.
but like yeah, that's five.
Yeah, okay. All right, all right. All right. Pablo Sandoval.
Pablo Sandoval, man, the Panda. That 3 home run game against Verlander, dude, that was absolutely insane. My son watches like there's like a compilation YouTube video of all the splash hits. I forget how many splash hits he hit. Like he put a lot of balls in the bay. Like it's
Yeah.
almost all Bonds, and then there's like some random ones, and then I think there's like an AJ Pierzynski one, and then there's a bunch of Pablo. Uh, I'm gonna go four with Pablo because I think we got one that's got to go above Pablo. But yeah, I mean, not solid, wonderful player. Uh, the Red Sox thing was weird,
Yeah.
but what a
Well, I
great
think
job.
the three home runs puts you in
Yeah,
the top five World Series
yeah,
era just by itself, right? Like the three, just that's crazy to do.
yeah,
And it was in San Francisco, and it was bananas when that happened.
yeah.
And so last one might be the best World Series pitcher of all time, Mr.
Wow.
Madison Bumgarner,
Yeah,
galloping out of the bullpen against the Royals, where no one thought he was going to come in and just absolute nails for five and captured maybe the most unlikely of the World Series for the Giants.
yeah. That entire stretch, and it was the like people talk about the World Series, and it's valid. Every superlative you can give Madison Bumgarner's World Series performances from when he was a 20-year-old pitching in that game at Texas to that last stretch against the Royals coming in on short rest. That was just as insane as but then you look at the two wild card games where he threw
Yep.
Pirates and then against the Mets where he threw like complete game shutouts against them both. Just preposterous, like coming to play on the biggest stage. I love Bumgarner with all my heart. I I feel bad that like Timmy's number one because he should be number one also. It should be like 1A, 1B, 1C with him and Posey. But I guess yeah, he's got to be three, even though like what he did is like nothing short of miraculous.
How many of those guys get a statue?
All of them, they should, right? Well, I mean, not okay.
There's not
As
a
far
lot.
as
There's
top
not a
five,
lot of
no,
not a
okay.
lot of real estate.
The top three, I think the top three should, right?
Yeah,
Where's Brandon Crawford on there too?
exactly. Crawford's not on. I mean, there's a lot of guys
Yeah,
like
there's a lot of
and
it. Okay, but as far as
Marcos Scudero. We could do a top five. Maybe next time we do top five acquisitions, blind ranking top
yeah,
five World Series
that would
acquisitions.
be good.
Because
Deep
Cody
cut
Ross, they do
at the
something.
bat, yeah,
Yeah,
all kinds of cool ones. Okay, so Timmy, look, two-time Cy Young Award winner, like World Series champion, that is I know his star like shone bright for so short of a time, relatively to some other careers. But like, it's tough. Like you're that big, you're not going to have a long career as a
yeah,
workhorse throwing that many pitches when you're that small. That's just
yeah.
what it is. And then Bumgarner, like look at how many innings he threw in the postseason. Look at what he put his arm through. And like, did that affect him later in his career? Absolutely. Like I 100% believe like some of the velocity that he lost is just due to like what he gave the Giants. Um, and then Buster Posey, like of course, yeah, you're going to build Buster Posey statues, Buster Posey.
He's
So like
he's
I think
he's
those
gonna
three,
build his own statue.
yeah,
he's
I
gonna,
know that's the
he's
only
gonna,
downfall is like, yeah, he's gonna have to build his own statue. But I think those three, like, yeah, like you got it. Well, okay, first things first, okay, we got to build Barry Bonds a statue. He's
Mhm.
Barry Lamar Bonds. We got to build that statue. But
Yep.
then the other three got to get one too. But not a lot of real estate. I know
I don't
it's
know how, like, you got to put it on the boardwalk back there. Like, I think that's like, I don't know how they're going to do because they have they have guys that they're going to probably need at the very least. Obviously, their jerseys are going to be retired or are happening, but like maybe you just do like a Buster hug thing, and it's like all the guys he hugged, and like, oh, we didn't even talk about Sergio Romo, who was a great World Series guy. Like, And
Amazing.
then and then you could do top moments. Like, is there a favorite moment, real quick? Because we got to do a little dad talk. We got to
Yeah.
do a little dad talk. But what's your favorite moment, real quick?
Of that era is what you're asking, like of that
Yeah,
World Series era? I think in 2010 because I was in the city and like
yeah.
that was the first one, right, in San Francisco, and they'd been so close. 2002, like it cut my soul deep. Like game six,
Hmm.
I was convinced it was going to happen. 2002 game six, it was like, wow, like Bonds hit that home run off Frankie Rodriguez, and it was like Russ Ortiz gets taken out of the game. That hurt. And 2010 kind of like just got rid of all that past pain from that 2002 World Series. And it was just like I remember like just like everybody celebrating together, getting to celebrate Giants in the city because I didn't grow up in the city. Like I didn't grow up in the Bay Area. I grew up in Albuquerque. All my friends were Dodgers fans. Like it was horrible, man. It sucked. And then like I get to like live this moment in San Francisco like that I don't know if anything could ever top that.
We were both at the parade. I can tell you that for sure. That was the one parade. I went to one parade as a fan, and I believe that was it because it was the first one. Had to go. It's chaos. But now you make the transition to being a father. We went through the whole times, and I think next time we got to do some minor league diaries, like some of the best stories you have from minor leagues that are
There's some good ones.
podcast
We had a
appropriate.
pregame cow milking competition one
Yeah,
time. And there was also monkeys riding dogs. So
yeah.
there's a lot to get to.
We'll dig into that. We'll come back to this. It's a good excuse, like I told Rob. It's a good excuse for me to see your face more often. So we'll do that. But the other part of this podcast is I want to get into some dad stuff because I know there's dad podcasts out there, but why not have a little bit more? Because I think every dad needs a little help here and there.
They do.
So you've made this transition, and I think the easiest question for you with your background is how do you manage your kids knowing that you played a sport at a very high level, you were drafted and you were a professional at that level, and I know you don't. I think you sometimes laugh at the professional portion of that programming, but you did. And so, how do you kind of manage that with your son Ray, and what your expectations are, and how to kind of build up his own path?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And I think it's something that I'm continuing to learn and something that I put a lot of pressure on myself, especially when it came to baseball. And it's something that I have had to learn to not do that with him. And I knew that's the right thing going in, but I think, early on when he's playing, starting like coach pitch and all that stuff, it would be hard for me to not like expect perfection because that's what I always expected myself. But it's such a delusional thing to think of, right? Like he's a 7-year-old kid. Like what am I thinking? And so I've learned to make the game fun. There's all this travel ball stuff that's just nuts. It's so crazy. And so like I'm trying to just make it not too serious, include competition in the practices, rewards with like gummy bears and stuff like that. Like let the kids be kids, but like teach them some stuff along the way and teach them like how to play the game and how to love it. Because like if you want somebody to pursue something and try to become the best that they can at it, they have to love it. And
Yeah,
so I can't force baseball into him, but he loves it himself now because we built that relationship through watching Giants games together, going to University of Hawaii baseball games together, and then like me being able to coach him. So the more I've let off of like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like, hey man, like, what do you want to do today? Oh, you want to hit some balls in the backyard? Cool. I'll show you a couple things along the way.
yeah.
And like, it that's what I feel like I owe the game, and I owe it so also his teammates, right? To coach every kid on his team. Like I owe the sport of baseball that. And so I think that's my job as dad and coach right now is to just make it inclusive with the game and teach as much as I can to the kids while ensuring that they love the sport of baseball.
Well, and I think I maybe I'm wrong in this because or naive, I should say, because my kids are not at the age yet. But I feel like the kid will tell you.
Yeah.
You'll start to realize when the kid wants to take this very seriously, when they believe that they are talented enough to push it, or maybe they're delusional enough to push it. Whatever, that's fine. Even if they are,
Both.
like, yeah,
Both.
you have to
Both.
be both. But
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer with anything, even if it's sports or if it's, dancing, ballet, whatever it is, or if they want to be a very, you know, be very much more smart than I am because that's not real English. But if they want to pursue something, whatever it is, the kid's going to tell you when they're serious about said interest.
You're absolutely right. And it's our job as parents to be able to foster those opportunities, but not to decide them for our kids. And I'm really proud in the fact that I don't think I've just like totally pushed baseball on my son. Like I've asked him, "Hey, do you want to play soccer? Do you want to play basketball? Like, do you want to go play flag football? All these different things." He's, "No, Dad, I just want to play baseball." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Like I'll
Yeah.
when those sports, like when you want to go try those sports, like we'll do that too." And so let's not try and like chase this very minuscule dream by forcing it on our kids. And
Yeah.
you, like you said, there's a bunch of different avenues you can do that, and it's hard as a parent because you want to give them the best opportunities. And I don't think it's ever with ill intent. Um, it's hard to do it in practice though. When like there's like parents get competitive too, and there's like pressures that come along. And I know I've fallen victim to it a few times. It's important to keep that in the back of your mind though.
It's funny because I was listening to a podcast about the NHL CBA, and I'm going to get to the point of this, but the person who talked to was an agent, and he was like, well, the hockey's signing bonus for a rookie is the smallest out of all the major sports. And so parents, when they're getting kids into it, are looking at that and saying, oh, well, the payoff for your investment isn't large enough in hockey. So that's why they go to other sports. And I'm listening to this and I was like, this guy has no idea because well, he probably does. I shouldn't say he doesn't have any idea. What I mean to say is that if parents are thinking that their child is going to be a professional athlete, and that is why they are doing organized sports, that is completely wrong because it's 1%. 1% of, and it might not even be 1% of kids make it to the professional level. And only like 2% make it to be a Division I scholarship athlete. So if your sole purpose as a parent is because you want a payoff at the end of the day, you're going to have a rude awakening in like 20 years when that said payoff does not happen.
I think it's got to be like, what can we get as far as life lessons from this? What can we get as far as the socialization, the physical activity, all these different things that you can learn through sports and through athletics, which are, I think, are very important. And yeah, if you're under the idea that like your kid is going to be the one of the few to do it, um, it's tough. And so like if you want to foster that as a parent, I support like fostering your kids' dreams. But like I think as a parent you got to know, and having experienced it, right? I've lived it. There's a lot that goes into it. And it's not because they start when they're 5. It's when they, become teenagers and stuff like that, like when they are solely focused and they're ready to pursue this thing and they have the talent behind it. Like that's when it becomes real. Until then, it's just like, okay, let's try it out. Let's try these different things.
And you also have a little girl. So
Yeah.
how is that? What's it like first going from being a boy dad and now being a girl dad? And how have you kind of rode that line of adapting and learning in that sense?
Yeah. Before we got to we got to double team parenting. Now it's like you're playing man to man. It's a lot more difficult. So
Yeah. Yes.
everything's a lot harder now. But yeah, the girl, it's totally different, like energy levels and stuff like that, and like things she wants to do. Different personalities, obviously. So it's not just like a gender thing, but yeah, it's really interesting to see. Even she's gonna be 4, and like the kids here can start playing baseball at 4. I asked her if she wants to play. I asked her if she wants to play soccer. She wants to do she just wants to do ballet. She just wants to wear like
Mhm.
princess dresses and do ballet all the time. So like that's what I do with her. And so like I sing the Frozen songs with her. And so like you just learn like this whole different area of like I'm just such like a dude, right? So like this whole world is new to me, but it's super fun to learn. So it's been pretty cool.
How's that jukebox with Ray's in the car as well? You gotta ride the balance, or is he still a big Frozen guy?
No, he's not. But
Oh,
you know what? He's really good. I'm so proud of him for this too, and it really helps me. Is he he knows that if he's in control or I'm in control, then she's not in control. And so we're gonna hear it the whole time. And so he's just like, look, I'm just gonna let her listen to whatever she wants to listen to, and I'll just do whatever I want to do back here in the back seat because I don't want to hear her screaming. So I think
yeah.
he's like, okay, this is like the easiest path.
Yeah, and it's funny because you get the both worlds, which is kind of cool. I mean, I have two girls, so I have very much the same worlds, in so to speak, except for my youngest Brooke is a wild animal and trying to tame that. currently,
The
but
second ones are feral, man. They're
dude,
feral. It's
well, and
crazy.
it's I blame it on the older sibling.
Yeah,
Like,
that's totally
can
what
you
it is.
just can calm down? Like, she's just trying to chase you down. Just sit there. If you sit, she'll sit. Nope. Everyone's a wild animal, and they're just off their rockers, trying to test limits. Brooke doesn't sit in her high chair. She has to stand to eat. And I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna fall. And then of course, grandparents are over, like, you're standing up, she's gonna fall. I was like, yeah, she does this every day. She's gonna be all right. But it's like you get two different worlds. Like one day you can go do this, and then the other, and you can kind of, if you need more relaxation or you want to get all crazy, or
Yep.
not, because they're also just children.
Yeah. Their energy is something that I like. I wish I had.
Yeah.
That's the one thing is like being a parent. It's like it takes every ounce of every piece of energy you can muster up. And so like seeing them, I'm just like, I wish I could just do all this and not be tired.
Yeah, well, on that note, this is carried on, and we need to save our energy. You need your energy. You are just wrapping up work, gonna get out there to the second job of the real world. So I'm gonna
Well,
let
first
you.
first is always nap time. So that's
Okay, good, good.
fortunately, yeah.
Okay, well, go get a nap in. We'll come back. We'll do some. We got plenty more we could talk about. I think this is a good introduction to who Sam Spangler is, and he's my bud, and we're gonna be coming back to him. If anything crazy happens with the Giants world, I would love to just come back to you, just
Yeah.
like a phone a friend.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. Just
appreciate you
read
coming
read
on.
my
Yeah,
unhinged texts on the air. That's what you can
yeah,
do.
there we go. Well, share screen. It'll be
Yeah.
fine. But yeah, appreciate you coming on. Had some fun. We'll throw this up on all the outlets, and then we'll have another good time on The Mic is Open.
Thanks for having me, my brother. Love you. Appreciate you having me. Good to chop it up with you.